talking about you, dog.
We're talking about you. You got to sit in your seat, ma'am.
Here's the bone.
You got to sit in your seat.
Here's the bone.
All right, so this week's episode is going to be a bit stationary because our trailer is in the shop. So this week we decided we were going to talk a little bit about RVing with dogs, and specifically how Gracie was kind of a bit of a godsend for us. For those of you that haven't watched our intro video, you don't know that we lost our daughter in January of 2022. And we got Gracie in February of 2022. So we want to tell you a little bit of the story of Gracie girl.
Gracie the Adventure Dog. During the pandemic, we had 2 old Chihuahuas, really old. One was Danielle's dog. Mm-hmm. One was a rescue that we got. Really old dogs. One was blind and deaf. The other, I think, was kind of a little demented.
Yeah, she had a little dementia going on. What is your problem?
During 2021, we lost both dogs, different times, and we had made a decision at that point because we had had dogs for like 30 years. Mm-hmm. Let's go dog free for a little while.
Yep.
So about a week to 2 weeks after we lost Danielle, we had all these flowers around the house and it was just too much. So we decided to disperse them among some certain family members. You know, my daughter-in-law and my mother-in-law, and let them share in what everybody sent us. So we took a huge arrangement over to my mother-in-law's house, and she has this dog, and I don't even really know this dog that well. And I sat down on a couch, and her little dog, it's just a little mutt, crawled up in my lap, put its little head on my chest. This dog doesn't even know me, but just put its little head on my chest and just looked me in the face. And I sat there and I petted this little dog, and it was the first time since hearing that my daughter passed away that I just kind of had a sense of
peace.
I don't know if I want to say peace or just a sense of just calm.
Yeah. Like
my mind just calmed down. It had been going a mile a minute for days on end, and I just know it felt right. So Mike and I, we leave, we get in the truck, and I looked at Mike and I said, we're getting another dog. Because I needed that sense of calmness. I needed that sense of something taking my mind away from everything else that I was dealing with, to just petting this dog and connecting with this animal. We went on Pet Finder.
Petfinder.com, which is an amazing site. You can put in everything, basically: age, breed, mixed breeds, disposition, all that. And it's an aggregate of all the different rescues, humane societies, all that out there. We knew we wanted a younger dog because we felt that maybe with a younger dog, training, it takes a lot to train a young puppy. House training, feeding, sleeping, all that. It takes a lot of energy, and we thought this would be a good, I don't want to say distraction, but just a good way to keep me busy during this time. I mean, there's days after you lose a child that you don't want to get out of bed. You literally just don't want to get out of bed. You probably haven't slept all night, you've had nightmares, or you've had bad dreams, or you just haven't slept because of everything that goes through your head. But with a puppy, you gotta get up. You can't just lay in bed and be overwhelmed with depression. You have to get up because you have to take the puppy out to go potty. You have to feed the puppy. Yeah.
Finally, after a couple of weeks, we landed on, at the time her name was Cookie. We landed on her. She was living in a wonderful rescue in La Jolla, California.
She was living in La Jolla, California. Which, for those of you that don't know what La Jolla is the town where if you're there, you have to hum when you talk.
We took one look at her and just found love. She was tiny.
Yeah.
Like, she fit in the palm of our hands, pretty much. And she had these big green eyes. She really helped us get through the last year.
That's the story about how we got Gracie, but the stories goes farther than that, because I mean, this little dog in the first year of her life saw more of this country than I did in 55 years of life, because a couple months after we got her, we had a plan to do a family reunion on the East Coast. So she wound up doing, we drove all the way from San Diego, all the way to Virginia and back. I mean, our whole season 1 is all of that before we got the RV. But I think that actually taking that trip was great for Gracie, because I mean, by the time we were done with that trip, she pees on command.
Gracie, go potty. Success!
Because we knew we had to get up in the morning, take her potty, put her in the truck and go. So we would take her out and you would tell her,
drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot. And now it's crazy. You look at this dog and you go, Gracie, drop it like it's hot. And that's her word for me.
That or if you want to go bye-bye ride, you got to go pee-pee.
Yeah, she knows what bye-bye ride is. You can see by the
bye-bye
head popping up. So a couple other tips we have for you if you're RVing with your dog. If you get your dog young, socialize the heck out of them. One of the places we socialized her was breweries.
Oh my God.
And the reason I say that is because breweries always have lots of people, lots of noise. There's also going to be lots of other dogs.
Especially here in California, they're very dog friendly.
Yeah. Well, and pretty much across the country, they were pretty dog
friendly.
And then for socializing them with other dogs, in our area, we have a doggy daycare called Camp Bow Wow. And Camp Bow Wow is actually nationwide. We're not sponsored in any way by Camp Bow Wow. But what we did was we started taking her to Camp Bow Wow just for daycare. When we had jobs and we had to be on set all day, we would take her in. And there was one week when Tony had to fly back east, and I had 5 days straight of shooting, of filming, and so I had to take her to Camp Bow Wow every single day. The first couple of days, she was nervous to go in. By the third day, she was pulling me in, because they put the dogs into a social environment where they all kind of play together. And so that got her so socialized with other dogs. So if you have the opportunity to put your dog into like a doggy daycare, even if you don't need to, just do it anyways.
So a couple of the apps that we use when we're traveling across country, and we've talked about this, is Bring Fido.
Yeah.
It's countrywide. You can just put in your location and you can find out all the dog-friendly restaurants, hotels, events, activities. So
a lot of times they'll tell you where all the dog parks are in a town. They'll tell you where all the dog-friendly restaurants are. We used bringfido.com all the way across the U.S. and all the way back. Again, we are not sponsored, not affiliated whatsoever. We just loved using them. And there's great reviews on there too. So a lot of times if you're, you don't quite know if you want to take them to this place or not, you can read the reviews and yeah, it's just, Bring Fido is great. What else? What else did we use? We talked about Pet Finder.
We talked about Pet Finder. The other app I use, which doesn't really pertain to traveling or anything, but I highly recommend it just for the fun, is BarkBox.
Oh God, BarkBox. Well, yeah, BarkBox is not traveling at all. BarkBox is it a monthly?
It's a monthly subscription where you get toys and snacks based on their size and breed and stuff like that. But the toys, quite frankly, I tend to buy dog toys based on the humor of them.
Yeah.
BarkBox nails it every time.
It says Slobber Party. Oh my God, a hamster! We got a hamster. Is your refrigerator running? Better catch it.
Tug toys. Tug toys are our favorite toys.
We always carry an extra backpack for her. Her backpack has pads, even though she's potty trained.
Right here. This is the backpack.
Sometimes we get into situations where we've been out too long, or and she'll tinkle somewhere, and we always want to clean up. We want to be responsible dog owners, so we want to clean up after our dogs. So we have pads, we have a blanket, because everywhere we go, we put her blanket out. She knows that's her safe spot, so she lays down on her blanket. We have extra food, we have extra water, we have extra treats, and we have extra toys. And even when you get to your destination, she's part of our routine of setting up. I hold her while we're backing in, so I know where she's at all times. I mean, that's, again, safety is most important. Once we get to where I know he's not going to be moving any of the vehicles, then I'll put her on the ground, then I'll hook her up to either the trailer, or I'll hook her up to the picnic table so we can finish, But that's part of our routine. It has become, I don't put the dog down, because you just don't want any accidents. Quite frankly, I think the fact that we got her when she was young just made it so much easier. She expects this. I mean, you say bye-bye right to her, and she's just like, what?
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I mean, there's times traveling that there's things you want to do that aren't dog-friendly. And, there's been some missed opportunities, but quite frankly, I get more joy traveling with her than seeing certain things.
Well, and that's another good reason to get your dog used to going to like a doggy daycare, because that way, if you roll into a town and there is a day that you want to spend doing things that aren't dog friendly, then they're already used to going to a dog daycare. So to take them to a doggy daycare for a day, you can go do all of those non-dog friendly things and, have that day. They get some time to go socialize with other dogs. And then the next day you go do all the dog friendly things.
Although I have to tell you, because of doing some of the trips that we've done that are just dog friendly, we have seen the coolest things.
Yeah.
As you get on Bring Fido and you're like, well, I didn't know that was dog friendly.
Yeah.
Well, we have the dog, we might as well do that. And the next thing you know, you're seeing something that you've never seen before.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, again, which I think we've shown again and again, we kind of like the off the beaten path.
Oh God, yeah. I like the weird and the wacky. There's a million, YouTube videos out there showing you all of the arches in Arches National Park, which is wonderful, and I want to go do that too. But, we go and hang out at Slow Jamistan. Because that's weird, wacky,
and
cool
it's
stuff.
Friendly.
And it's dog friendly because it's in the middle of nowhere. All right, well, we've been rambling for a long, long time, which means I have a lot of editing to do. So before we wrap up, I do want to say that there is some new news to share with you around our whole selling off the house and moving on to the full-time world. That's progressing.
We had an offer.
No, don't. I don't want to talk about that on this one. We've already gone way too long.
We should.
So
Hint?
No, just things are moving forward, and we're getting closer to that point where we will be living in the Imagine 2500 RL full time. All right. Say goodnight, Gracie.
That's how she got her name.
That's how she got her name. All right, we'll see you guys on the next one.